how do I, as an artist, create something that I feel is beautiful, I mean really beautiful, I'm a really good artist, and have it be received in a way that compensates me for creating it.
It's two different creations.
I get
The first you create the beautiful art, and then you create the selling of the beautiful art. First you create the art, which is a creation, then you create an environment in which it is sought after, which is another creation.
Right.
So when you think about what is present within you, what must be present within you in order to create the art, and then you make sure that that's present within you when you work on the other creation, then you've got it. In other words, what do you know for sure is present within you when your magnificent art flows through you?
Joy.
And use other words to describe it.
Excitement, confidence,
clarity,
clarity,
agility, deftness, certainty,
skill,
sureness. Yes, all of those things.
And I have all of those
Yes,
things
you do.
when I'm creating the beautiful things.
So now you just have to replicate those on the other. So I'm sure when I do my art, I'm not sure when I try to sell it. I'm confident when I do my art. I'm not confident when I try to sell it. See the difference?
I do see the
It's two
difference.
creations. So what are you going to do?
How do I get this one over where that one is?
Well, first of all, by acknowledging the emotion. Our friend, we talked about this earlier, didn't we? In other words, rather than thinking about it, feeling it. And so now you've identified what it feels like if we were standing in your physical shoes. When we are in the mode of the creation, describe that a little bit to us. Where are you? Give us a piece of it. What's it like?
Okay, I'm sitting in my studio and I make jewelry, so I have a lot of metals and gemstones and all of the equipment that I know how to use and that I've trained myself to use over the years sitting in front of me. I have a picture in my head of exactly what I want this creation to look like, and then I suspend time. I become completely involved in what I'm doing.
All right, now think about what you're saying. It's brilliant what you're saying. So you have all of the components there. And then you form a picture of where you're going. And then you suspend time, meaning leave out all contradictory thought. In other words, you don't think thoughts like, can I do it? Have I ever done this before? What will it take? It's not working out. In other words, you suspend all of that. You create a vibrational nucleus that then allows the inspiration to act to come over you. In other words, the motion of your physical apparatus is just the natural following of that kind of alignment. So now let's step out of that creation and into the other one. So what's the picture? You said, I have an exact picture of where I'm going. It's in my mind. Tell us what the exact picture of where you're going is with the other creation.
I don't have one.
Well, let's make one. In other words, so why do you make jewelry? Why would anyone make jewelry?
Because I love to create beautiful things.
Well, we think that's lovely. And don't you want to share beautiful things?
Yeah.
Aren't you, especially you women, aren't you salivating for a catalog? In other words, so what's the picture? I have this magnificent jewelry, and I didn't make it to keep in my warehouse. Where would I like to see this jewelry? Close your eyes. What's the picture? Where do you want to see it?
It's in a beautiful gallery. It's well displayed.
Well, let's get it further than that. Put it on someone's neck. Put it on some... Who's
a good idea.
Who's wearing it? In other words, who's wearing it? They're walking down the red carpet. There's a microphone being put in their face. What are you wearing? They say, oh, this gown was made by, who cares? And this jewelry was made by...
Donald McLaughlin.
Yes. And where did you find it? It's in all of the impressive galleries, and I think he has a website.
Yes, he does.
And the creation of the jewelry and the picture that you had before it is created is no more consequential than the picture that you have just created it's two different creations. In other words, you have to spend as much time creating this picture of people all over the world enjoying, not flocking to it because you don't want them to make you crazy in demand.
I could get a little crazy.
Willing to pay large numbers of dollars for the perfection of this magnificent jewelry. In other words, people want this, and when they wear it, they feel good. And when they get it on their body, they can feel the alignment that I found when I made it. They can feel the harmony of the elements. They can feel the compatibility of the vibration. They felt it when they were drawn to it. It stood out to them. They wanted it. They knew it was right. It enhances their experience. It gives them a greater sense of stability. It makes them realize the all-is wellness of the environment. It makes them feel financially solid. It makes them feel more beautiful. It is a tool that aligns them with Source itself. When people view it, they just feel better in looking at it. It is such a picture of alignment. It is such a culmination of my alignment that anyone who gazes upon it gets the benefit of the alignment that I found when I created it. This is more than a beautiful trinket that they wear. This has value even beyond the intrinsic value of the golds and the gems that I apply to it. It has the value of alignment within it. I'm passing on so much more than a piece of jewelry, and for that I am joyously well paid, you see.
So you really get it. Because that's what I want. I mean, that's what I do when I create.
And you see, it doesn't matter when you said that just now.
Yeah.
What you meant was, Abraham, you are like the only one who gets it besides me. And what we want
you and a few others.
But what we want you to understand, that's the picture that you want to paint. In other words, that in this other creation that we're talking about, we want you to put a larger marketplace in your creation. There are people all over the world who want what you have. And when you put your jewelry on their bodies in your vision, you put yourself in the vortex. Law of attraction takes care of everything else. That's how you get in the vortex. This vision isn't to manipulate the markets. It isn't to manipulate other people. It isn't to drag husbands to jewelry counters to make them buy. Although that always is a very nice thing.
Yeah. Couldn't hurt.
It isn't about that. It isn't about that. It's about you creating a vision that completes you, that puts you into alignment. So now think about it. So you're in alignment when you create it, and now you've created a vision of the movement of it through the marketplace that you're in alignment with, and now the convergence of these two beautiful creations that you have created, both of them. You've created the product itself, and now you've created the mechanism through which it will be distributed, and you are in alignment, and law of attraction will work out the details. We're not kidding you one little bit. You went way past hope. You went into knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. I wanted to talk about how to allow individuals from non-physical to flow through me when I'm being creative. Apart from feeling good and things like that.
It's our favorite question these days, a favorite subject. Certainly, because we get to be the non-physical that gets to flow through. In other words, all of you who are physically focused are extensions of this non-physical energy. So we are all aware of where you are. So it's not a question of how do you get non-physical to flow through you. The question is, how do you become aware that it's happening? And the answer is, stop thinking that it isn't. Because it always is to some degree. It always is to some degree. What is physical is an extension of non-physical. And we don't want to make you feel like puppets on the string, because it's not like that at all, because you get to call the shots. You get to define what you want and literally summon. We've been calling it the 3-step process. You ask for it, and then Source does its part, and then you have to allow it, you see. Too simple, huh?
That's good.
What you do is you notice when it is happening. That's the best thing. When it is happening, active. Just make lists of all the times that you know that it is happening. And here are some signals. You're moving through your day. You're focused upon something else. But the thing that you're focused upon is feeling good to you, but it's off the subject of your creativity. And in the middle of that thought, another thought comes that is not related to anything that you were consciously thinking. It came on the same vibrational wave current, and you were the receiver of it. As Esther was coming to the hotel in the car yesterday, she's thinking about this beautiful state and how much time she has spent here. And she is hearing Jerry sort of commenting about the orange blossoms and the orange trees. She can feel his enthusiasm for what she is seeing out the window. And then Esther said, because she's been feeling us flowing through her for years and years and years, but there's something about Jerry flowing that is a different thing. Sort of like a painter flowing or a musician flowing feels like a different thing than source flowing. But we want you to understand that it's all the same thing. So Esther's thinking about Jerry, and then she is thinking, I wonder if I'm thinking about you because I'm thinking about you, or I wonder if I'm thinking about you because you're thinking about me. And we say, what difference does it make? Because you've rendezvoused on the thought. You've rendezvoused on the thought, which is really what this finding this creativity is that you're wanting. And so then Esther is saying in her mind, all right, I know you're here, but I so like to hear you. I so like to see you. Borderline complaining, but pulling herself back from it. Borderline complaining, but pulling herself back from it. I know, she's saying in her mind. I know how it is. I know how it is. I'm not complaining about what is. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So she sort of dodged a bullet. She didn't drift off into that uncomfortable place. Just sort of stayed there. And when she came up to her hotel suite, if she has a key in the door, she can hear, sounds like someone's in the room. Someone really cheerful. And she opens the door, and on her very small balcony is a chair facing out. And on the back of the chair, holding on, is a bird, a big black bird, looking right in at her and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And what the bird is saying is, can you see me? Can you hear me? 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 And Esther said, yes, I can see you and I can hear you. Now, the bird is a really easy messenger. The bird received blocks of thought and did exactly what Jerry wanted it to do. Went right to the window of Esther's balcony and waited for her to arrive. And called right out loud in vivid form and stood there for 20 minutes on the back of the chair. So, Esther didn't open the window. She didn't offer him anything to eat. She just stood in appreciation of her ability to witness the creative translation of the bird. And Esther is thinking, if that bird can get you, Jerry, I certainly can. I certainly can, because that's all that happened. The bird got an impulse to go cling to a chair and chirp. Not any chair, a specific chair. And not briefly, for a long, long time. You see what we're getting at? You have the ability to receive. You do. If the bird can do it, you can do it. It's the same thing. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.